Let's talk metabolism. Metabolism is just like a muscle. It's something that can be trained, and so how you've trained it is how it behaves. If you're somebody that wakes up and is not hungry at all and can't even think about breakfast until noon, that's because you've trained your metabolism to stay dormant until noon. If you simply started to eat breakfast despite the fact that you're not hungry, in a matter of about 2 weeks, you'd start waking up hungry. And hunger is a sign that your metabolism is firing and burning calories, and now your tank is empty and you need more fuel. So, how do we build a fat burning metabolism? We train it. And it works a lot like a campfire. So, with a campfire, if you had a big bonfire the night before with a huge roaring fire, and then you went to sleep in your tent and you come back out, the fire would be out, but the coals would still be hot. If you did not add any fuel to the coals, they'd eventually go out. That's what happens to your metabolism when you don't feed it after a fast, right? You had it burning brightly the day before, you went to bed, now you've just got hot coals in the morning, you don't feed it, and all of a sudden your metabolism becomes really sluggish. So when you do put a big log on cold coals, it just sits there. And that's what happens. If your metabolism isn't firing enough, you put a big meal on it, all of a sudden your body's just going to store it because it's not active enough to burn and absorb all of those calories. So what do? Just like any good fire person, if you've got warm or hot coals, you're going to add some really small kindling that will easily catch flame, that doesn't require a lot of heat to burn. And that's what we do in the morning. In the morning, we don't need anything huge. We just need something small to help stoke the fire, right? And then once the fire starts to stoke, you have to keep feeding it. Otherwise, it goes out. So you start with like really small kindling. Then you start adding maybe a pencil-sized piece of wood. Then you add a 2-finger piece of wood, and then an arm piece of wood, and then a thigh-sized piece of wood until you've got this huge roaring fire. And that's how your metabolism works as well. So you're gonna have a small meal to start, and in about 2 or 3 hours, you're gonna add a slightly larger meal to it, and your fire is now burning brighter. And then in about 3 hours, you're gonna feed it again, and you're gonna feed it again. Because if you think about a fire, if you wait to feed it until it's eaten all of its current wood, the fire immediately starts to die. We don't ever want to get it to die. We want to hit it at its really hottest point. So we have to find that sweet spot. Typically, we digest our food in about 4 hours. So at 3 hours is our sweet spot where we're not out of fuel, but we're starting to get to the bottom part of the tank, right? And so we need to put more fuel in there before the heat goes away. And that's how you build a fat-burning metabolism that burns all day long. And yes, there's a lot of theories out there on whether you really do need to eat every 3 hours. And I understand that. However, if you look at the leanest, fittest people in the world, which are basically competitors, they're eating every 3 hours. I'm going to do what the people I want to look like do. And so the leanest people out there, that's what they do. And I can tell you, I have my most energy. I don't suffer from hunger. I don't suffer from this need or desire to binge as a result of hunger when I'm keeping myself fed every 3 hours. It allows me to build muscle, it allows me to stay lean, and it allows me to feel my best. So burn that fire, train your metabolism, and create the body you've always wanted.